Ever felt the magnetic pull of a love that hurts as much as it heals? Ethan and Maria knew that cycle all too well. This is their raw journey from explosive highs and crushing lows to finding true emotional peace. Discover how to break free from addictive patterns and build a love that truly nurtures, not consumes. Sat on the worn-out couch, the silence amplifying the echoes of their recent fight. The apartment, usually their haven, now felt like a cage, each corner a reminder of their turbulent love. He knew the cycle was starting again, the anxiety tightening its grip. Their love was a storm, beautiful and terrifying. Highs of deep connection and roaring laughter crashed into lows of bitter arguments and slammed doors. Ethan wondered if they could ever escape the tempest. The hate phase was suffocating, a pressure building in his chest. The silence was a heavy blanket, broken only by the frantic beat of his own heart. He dreaded the inevitable return, the makeup as intense as the fight. Hours crawled by. The apartment held its breath, waiting. Finally, a key turned in the lock. Maria was back, her presence sparking a nervous energy that filled the room. They collided in the doorway, a desperate embrace that spoke louder than words. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice trembling. The relief washed over him, a temporary balm on a deep wound. The night was filled with tearful confessions and desperate promises. Vulnerability hung in the air, thick and heavy. They chased the high of reconciliation, forgetting the inevitable fall. Dawn broke, painting the apartment in soft hues. For a moment, everything felt perfect. But as the adrenaline faded, a cold clarity began to creep in. The high was addictive, a soothing balm after the storm. But Ethan realized it wasn't just love. It was a fever, burning bright and leaving them scorched. He understood the cycle. The fights fueled the highs, the pain, the price of their intense connection. This wasn't peace. This wasn't healthy. Looking at Maria, resting against him, Ethan whispered, "I don't want to almost lose you to feel this way." A terrifying moment of truth. It wasn't an end, but a beginning. He was ending the cycle. "I want us to just be quiet, steady, healthy," he said, the weight lifting from his chest. Maria looked up, her eyes searching his. "Me too,"
she whispered, a hopeful smile breaking through. A fragile seed of change had been planted.
Together, they imagined a new kind of love. Not fiery highs, but steady, patient care. A love built on understanding, not addiction. It wouldn't be easy. The fever would call, tempting them back to old patterns. But this time they knew what to resist. Peace, not passion at any cost. That was the new mantra, a whisper of hope in the face of a roaring storm. In their dishevelled apartment, a new flame flickered steady warmth instead of burning fever. It was a beginning, fragile and uncertain, but it was theirs. For Ethan, that was enough to hold on to, a promise of a love less dramatic, but infinitely more real. Days turned into weeks. They learnt to communicate without yelling, to listen without interrupting. Small acts of kindness replaced grand gestures. A hand held during a movie, a surprise cup of tea, a genuine "how was your day?" The urge to fight still lingered, but they recognized it, named it, and chose a different path. They discovered the beauty in the mundane, the quiet joy of shared silence, the strength in vulnerability. The apartment, once a cage, became a sanctuary, a haven of peace and understanding. Their love story transformed. It was no longer a fever, but a gentle warmth, a constant comfort. They still had storms, but they weathered them together, stronger and more resilient each time. The scars of the past remained, but they were reminders of how far they had come, not limitations. Ethan looked at Maria, a deep sense of gratitude filling his heart. They had found their way out of the fever. Maria smiled back, her eyes shining with love and trust. They were home. And in that quiet moment, they knew their love story was just beginning, a new chapter written with patience, understanding, and unwavering commitment. The end of the fever, but the start of forever.